In this video, we're going to multiply positive and negative numbers. And so we want to remember the rule. The rule is that when you multiply two numbers with the same sign, the answer will be positive. So two positives and two negatives multiplied together will be positive. When you multiply two numbers with unlike signs, then the answer is negative. So a positive times a positive is a positive. A negative times a negative is a positive. They have like signs. A positive times a negative is a negative. And a negative times a positive is also a negative. By the way, these rules also work for division of two numbers. Okay, so let's try some of these examples. In the first example, we have a negative 4 times a positive 8. So we have unlike signs, which means that our answer is going to be negative. And 4 times 8 is 32. So our answer is negative 32. Now let's look at the fraction. This time we have two positive fractions being multiplied together, so our answers will be positive. Now, if you remember, with fractions, if we can reduce, we try to do that ahead of time, and then we're going to multiply across. So the 9 and the 3, we can divide 3 out of both of those. And now 4 times 1 is 4, and 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, in our next problem, we have two like signs. This time we have two negatives, but negative times a negative is a positive. And here's our long multiplication. Now, if you have your calculator, you don't have to do all this, but for those of you who like to do some of these things by hand, just multiplying, adding down the columns. And then, since we had one decimal place, we're going to move one decimal to the left, and our answer is positive 204. In the next problem, we have 3 negatives multiplied times 1 positive. So we're going to go 2 at a time. And we know that negative 4.5 times 6, those are different signs, so we're going to have a negative answer. And it's actually negative 27. Now we're going to multiply, bring down the other two numbers. Now we have negative 27 times negative 5, which is a positive 135, times a negative 3. And since we have a positive times a negative, we know that our answer will be negative. And that's a negative 405, negative 405. Okay, now this problem, very important because this one tends to show up in exams everywhere. You want to evaluate these, and they look a little bit different. Now, in the first problem, with the parentheses, the base is negative 6, and the exponent is 2. So we're going to write negative 6 times negative 6, and we get a positive 36. In the second problem, however, we see the exponent of 2, only the number right in front of it. The 6 without the sign is the base. So the base is 6 for this problem. And so we're going to multiply 6 times 6, which is positive 36. Then we do have that negative sign in front. And in this case, this negative sign means the opposite of 6 squared, or the opposite of 36, of a positive 36. So the opposite will be a negative 36. So notice how without the parentheses, our answer is negative 36. So again, let's review that because this one may show up in your exam. In the first example, with the parentheses, the base is negative 6, In the second, without the parentheses, the base is positive 6. And so the answers are different by that negative sign. Make sure you keep track of that and add that to your notes. Remember in part B, that negative sign means the opposite of 6 squared, the opposite of 36.